Well, tonight, Iowa House Republicans passed their plan to overhaul funding and oversight for area education agencies in the state.
Now, this proposed legislation passed out of the chamber on a 53-41 vote today. It is a big milestone, though drastically changed as a key legislative priority for Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. With that in mind, let's go live right now to KWW reporter Daniel Perot in the newsroom with more on what lawmakers have passed out today and also reaction coming from the governor.
As you mentioned, Ron, this is very different from what the governor initially proposed. House lawmakers flatly rejected that. This is their version of it. In response to it, the bill is now halfway back to the governor's desk. If this becomes law, it would solidify AEAs as the sole provider for special education services in the state. That is not the case in the governor or the Senate version of the bill. Districts can go elsewhere for some other services. The AEA would get federal special education funds, but starting in the 2025-2026 school year, state special education funding and revenue from property taxes would go to school districts. The bill creates a task force to study all services provided by the AEA. Democrats say they're on board with that task force, but the rest of the bill is not necessary.
Making big sweeping changes for reasons that no one can really explain as necessary, and then having a task force isn't really the way it should be done. It's really easy to tear something down. It's a lot harder to build it back up.
State Representative Chad Ingalls, the parent of two special needs kids, said this is a bill that he can live with. He says he does have some concerns with handing over professional development services to the State Department of Education, but he's come around to support the bill.
System that is 50 years old, probably it's time for a review and a look at how we can do things a little differently, make some improvements. As somebody who has had children that have been served, I think it's the right thing to do.
In a statement, Governor Reynolds thanked the House for advancing the bill, saying, quote, "The system must provide transparency and accountability to school districts, those closest to our students, and drive consistency across the AEA regions to improve services for students with disabilities," adding she looks forward to more conversations as this legislation moves forward. The Senate does have its own AEA bill that is different from the House and the governor. Today, House lawmakers said conversations with the other chamber are ongoing, so House and Senate leaders will have to decide which version of that bill they end up actually sending to Governor Reynolds. Ron, Elizabeth.